And good evening, everybody. Sam Sarmenta, of course, together with Coach Norman Black and Lala Roque completes our threesome here today. And you take a look at the team standings, you will understand why this game could be pivotal for both squads on the floor right now.
Well, only 3 wins between the two teams. Of course, FedEx is the one team with the 2 wins. Alaska has 1 win so far this conference. Central Lucia lost earlier to Talking Tech, so both these teams can try to make up some ground against Central Lucia.
Okay, we'd like to illustrate in our next graphic the point we were trying to make about the difference in the first few games of the FedEx Express and under the current stewardship of Bonnie Garcia, who, by the way, is back in town after checking out his ailing father in the United States.
Well, in fairness to Coach Garcia, it's so difficult to come into the middle of a conference and try to turn a team around or try to mold the team into your philosophy. But so far, they're actually averaging less points a game than they were under Coach Derek Pumarin, and I'm sure they'll be looking to pick that up. They are averaging more fast break points per game, so they are looking to run, but at the same time, they're committing more turnovers.
Gentlemen, on your screens is Giorgio Villa. He's one of the assistants, and he will be back being an assistant tonight because I did see Bonnie Garcia. We managed to talk with him earlier. Giorgio took over, but unfortunately, FedEx lost in that game wherein he was coach. In the meantime, the import matchup reveals that those are the numbers of Terrence Shannon and Ike Fontaine, who came in for Chris Carrawell.
Well, if you look at Terrence Shannon, that's just such a big gap there, a big dip as far as his performance offensively. So definitely he'll have to get more touches and more shots in this game.
And definitely need more production coming from him. That's absolutely true. But these are teams that like to run, and the defense will be important to look at here.
Well, I guess FedEx would probably be more of a running team than the Alaska team, but Alaska does run on every opportunity. We know Alaska, they run the triangle in their half-court offense. They like to be very disciplined. They execute well. So it should be a contrast somewhat as far as the styles are concerned. Let's see how FedEx can do tonight to try to get into that all-out running game.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening from the Big Dome.
Okay, let's send it to Rolly Manlapas for the formal introductions of the two teams on the floor. Rolly, take it away.
PBA Reinforced Conference. Here's the starters for the FedEx Express. At guard, number 3, Egay Billones. Setter, number 18, Yancy de Ocampo. At forward, number 44, Jerry Cordillera. Guard, number 8, Vergel Meneses. And at forward, number 33, Terrence Shannon. The head coach for the Express, Bonnie Garcia, assisted by Giorgio Villa. And now, starting for the Alaska Aces. At forward, number 8, Don Aliado. Forward, number 34, Ali P. At guard, number 11, Mike Cortez. Guard, number 31, John Arrigo. And at forward, number 22, Ike Fontaine. The head coach for the Aces, Tim Cohn. The officials for this ball game, Boy Cruz, Oji Ramos, and Gonzi Alzaba. Alternate official is Joey Kalungkakin.
As we welcome you to our main game tonight, it's FedEx up against Alaska in white and FedEx in their familiar purple and white. Ali Peak is shopping around first possession of the ball game. Here's Mike Cortez, his pass to the wrong party. Vergel Meneses looks inside, quickly back from Cordillera. Vergel is at the baseline, makes his move. That familiar jump of his produces nothing. Here's the cool cat, trying to cut up the inside, applies the brakes. Can't nail the shot. Jerry Cordillera takes it away. Early run at the basket by both sides, but nothing in terms of production. Shannon, baseline. The import of Alaska has not touched the ball yet.
Well, not very much patience coming from both teams so far.
Really in a rush to nail that first basket. Here's Arrigo. Hooks it over to Ali Peak. Squeezes the trigger. First 2 points of this basketball game are already registered. 10:45. That's the time we have left in this opening quarter, and as Norman pointed out, a win by Talking Tex against Santa Lucia, which led way up to the third quarter, but couldn't pull it through. That shot does not bite, and Ali Peak takes it away.
Well, actually, the Talk and Text team, they now have the best record in the league.
Yes.
They're 6-1.
Here's Ali Peak. Jericho Deniera is eyeing him closely. Aliado on court and drop it in. Here's Jericho Deniera, snaps to the right flank.
Boy, the first 2 minutes, our shooting percentages are quite low.
Yes, one trip for every customer here. Aliado checks his sneakers, goes up, scores.
We always talk about secondary break or trying to get something off of early offense. That time Alaska was able to get the ball into the post. Ali Peak found the trailer, who was Don Ayado, who made a good move to the basket.
Smile naman, Lala Roque, kasi malapit na ang iyong Star Margarine courtside update. Go.
Eto, kanina pa ako nakasmile 7, Coach Norman. Well, as you can see, Coach Bonnie Garcia is back. He just arrived yesterday at kahapon lang din sila nag-practice with the FedEx team. At sinabi naman niya, and well, good news because his dad is stable when he left in the States. Pero so far daw nasa hospital pa siya. Pero ayaw niya isipin yan this time because itong game na to, they're treating it as a championship game. Kung hungry daw ang Alaska for this win, they're hungrier this time. And this has been my Star Margarine courtside update. Back to you, 7, Coach Norman.
Thank you very much. Lala Roque reporting from the sideline.
Well, FedEx, they're trying to stabilize their game as they have not scored yet. They're going to get a turnover here coming from Alaska. Oh, it's been so long.
Oh, really?
Actually, right before every game, you should feel nervousness. I mean, it's just like when you're a player, you feel a little bit nervous before the game. That's just the competitiveness coming out of you.
Sort of the body telling you, get ready. It's the alarm clock. Don't be scared. Just
actually, the curtain's getting ready to go up, and it's your turn to be in the spotlight.
Absolutely. In the meantime, FedEx trying to trim down this lead, but they mishandled the basketball.
And you always want to see that in a player. When he makes a mistake, he immediately says, my bad, my fault.
Off the post, Arrigo. And Vergel Meneses with the swift reply on the other end of the floor. Let's give you the score, 7-4. Alaska has a slight lead. Three-pointer with 8:20 to go. We are in the opening quarter.
Well, one thing you have to know about FedEx, after made and missed baskets, they will be looking to score immediately.
There's Shannon. Short pass over to Del Campo. Yancy can't make that move of his. Terrence unloads. And Shannon with a good clear view of the hoop gets his first basket.
So Alaska helping down on defense, not respecting the outside shooting of Shannon. If he starts hitting from the outside, Seb, he could be a very difficult player to stop.
I think that we saw that thing we saw early on in the first game he played here in the Philippines. He has some defensive skills. He is alert defensively. He bothered Fontaine on that shot. Fontaine kept thinking about the shot. You know, I really feel sometimes in a basketball game, some shots have to be automatic. You know, you can't think too much. A 30-second timeout is being used right now.
I coached Fontaine the first time he came to the Philippines, Devin. I really believe that he's a good player, and he can take you one-on-one, but his strength is really shooting the basketball. You might be better off trying to set him up for screens and having him coming off just shooting the ball.
And don't forget that for intense body aches and pain, use Salon Pass. And I think the book on Fontaine coming in, and we did have a lot of his numbers about his shooting percentage. Can shoot it from the three-point zone, and that really helped Alaska in their first win.
Well, he's a high percentage shooter basically because he takes good shots. And he's a high 30% shooter from 3 points, over 50% from 2 points, and over 80% from the foul line.
Here we go with the inbound after the 30-second timeout, that is. Here's Arrigo, whips it over to Aliado. Here's Ike Fontaine. We go downstairs. Arrigo is tied up at the baseline, but he creates, unable to sink it though. Yancy gets it. FedEx with a chance to jump into the lead. Shannon deep under the sea. He is clipped.
Oh, smart play by Shannon, coming down with the basketball instead of forcing it up there. Delaware free throw.
Yes, Cortez is whistled for that foul, his first of the game. Alaska still in the lead, 7-6, 7 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in this first quarter.
And one thing I've noticed about Alaska so far this conference is their assists are down a little bit compared to, the first two conferences. And that last shot by Arrigo was pretty much a forced shot. Not something you really see from the Alaska players very often. Normally execution of their offense and really getting good shots at the basket.
There's a zealousness and over-eagerness at times by this young ball club. In the meantime, Ali Peak, as far as trying to get the shot nailed quickly. Aliado's in the box. That play seems to be working for Alaska.
And that's what I was talking about. When they execute, they get good open looks at the basket.
And Alaska maintains a 2-point lead, 9-7, 6:40 to go. Here's Sarah Shannon. Goodbye, says the referee, because it's an offensive foul. In the meantime, the jumper, unable to sink. Here's Fontaine, whips it over to the Cool Cat. The Cat is on the prowl. Oh, he creates, but unable to get it with the left hand. 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. We are in the opening quarter. FedEx trying to tie up this first quarter. Vergel Meneses, umupo sa ere. Familiar na tira ni Vergel. Ayaw. He has time to read the magazine with that shot.
It's almost like he's sitting down in midair, huh?
Here's Cortez. Aliado in a spot that he likes. Yancy Del Campo sticking it to him. But Aliado has collected 6 points in this quarter. Make that 7. The shot is short by Shannon. The finger roll, and he gets a double black eye because he ends up with a loose ball foul in the subsequent play.
Yes, that finger roll came up short, and now he has 2 personal fouls.
In the meantime, it is Alaska in front by 4.
Willie Arboleta has checked into the game for FedEx. He'll be running the point guard position.
And he's one player who has really played a long time for Bonnie Garcia, from his college days, his NBA days, and now here in the PBA. In the meantime, a foul underneath.
Swete Talagasi Ali Peak. He lost the handle of the basketball and was still able to regain it.
And Cordillera is indeed whistled for the foul, his first, keeping you posted on the number of team fouls. 3 against FedEx, while Alaska has 1. Again, earlier today, Talking Text winning against Santa Lucia, 89-81. We have Ali Peak taking care of the first gift shot.
That was a very exciting game, the first game, with Marlo Aquino and Dennis Espino playing well against Ali Talaba.
Yes.
Big guys going at it in the first game.
Yes. In the meantime, Ali Peak taking care of 2 gift shots, and now Alaska maintains a 6-point lead. It's their biggest advantage so far. Timex is the official timer of the 2003 PBA games, as the sideline violation is committed. Do check out the nearest Timex outlet for the newest Timex watch collections this October.
Well, take a look at the matchups on the floor. You have Arrigo against Meneses. That's a pretty good matchup there. Isaac Fontaine is actually guarding a big guy. He's guarding Jerry Cardenera.
Early report on the shooting on your screens. Jerry falls away, bounces out. Alaska looking to stretch their current advantage of 6 points. Cortez using Peak's shield. Into the top of the triangle we go. Everybody fading away. Ali Peak momentarily isolated. Aliado gotcha, says Don Aliado. Omanzi Rodriguez biting into the fishing expedition.
Well, Omanzi saying he jumped into me. But the referees deemed that was a foul on Omanzi.
Good start by Don Carlos Aliado, and he already has 7 points. He got that first foul on Rodriguez, which is now the 14th foul of FedEx in the quarter. Aliado taking care of free throw number 1, and it's time to talk about home, I guess, for the imports. How's the food lately?
A lot of American restaurants here in the Philippines, so they should have no problem with food.
In the meantime,
What a shot.
Vergel Meneses creating, Omanzi hooking, and Aliado clearing. Here comes Arrigo. He's looking up front, looking at the wings. Decides to go to Fontaine, who uncorks a 3. That's enough to give Alaska a double-digit advantage, 18-7. FedEx says, time to talk things over.
And so far, Terrence Shannon with only 3 points
Not too many touches, huh?
in the game.
Not too many touches.
Well, not too many touches and not really getting the ball in good scoring position. Like I said, sometimes you can't really rely on the guys to just go one-on-one. You might have to set them up so they can get the ball on the move or they can get open for a wide-open shot.
As Omanzi gets one, but unable to stick it, and the rebounding problem, nothing but white shirts inside. Here's Cortez, top of the keyhole area. Fontaine thought about getting into position downstairs, but Cortez breaks loose. Arboleda just couldn't handle it.
Talk about picking up garbage and turning it into goal. That's the second time that Ali Peak was able to pick up a fumbled pass.
13-point lead. This is the biggest lead enjoyed by the Aces. Arboleda unloads. It won't drop in. Lala, what do you have? Let's go to Lala, Roque. Lala? I don't think your mic is on. See Lala. Okay, let's go to Lala later. In the meantime.
Wala.
Okay, meron na, Lala.
Meron na. Hi, Sav and Coach Norman. I heard you mention about that Terrence Shannon a while ago. He just made 3 points and medyo napansin natin that his offensive play dropped since bago na ng coaching staff. But I talked to Coach Bonnie a while ago. Actually, he's encouraging Terrence to make that outside shots. Pero ito talagang style kasi itong si Shannon is to drive in the basket. At sinasabi nga niya, kailangan daw gawin niya tong shots na to outside wherever and tulungan din yung team sa defensive play. Ang sinasabi niya, yung system na ba daw ginagamit niya, hindi naman daw nagbago na ginagamit ni Coach Derek before. Ang kanilang daw dinagdag ay that the roles of the players and the fast break. And that's my report. Now, back to you, Seb and Coach Norman.
Thanks a lot, Lala, for that informative update. In the meantime, Jericho Diniera gets it in a familiar spot but unable to score. Cortez putting on a dribbling clinic. Aliado open.
Yes, Don Ayado here in the first half is red hot.
Aliado has had a very good first quarter of 11 points.
Well, going back to what Lala talked about, he's really correct. I mean, Shannon really has to make some outside shots to keep the defense honest. But you might want to set some plays so he can catch the ball on the move. You can see it's so difficult if he just tries to back his man and the help defense is going to come in.
And I think what's happening is that Alaska, definitely they did their homework in checking on what he likes to do as a player. And Shannon seems to have a door shut on him every time he makes an attempt.
Well, they did not pressure him from the perimeter. They want to give him that shot. They do not double team him either, so they figure he's going to come to the basket anyway. And then once he gets near the lane area, they come down and help.
In the meantime, Rob Duat checks in together with Don Camaso. Aliado and Arrigo sit down. 2:23 to play. 22-8. FedEx is really groping for form.
And John Perrios has checked into the game for Jerry Cadenera.
Perrios blocks the missed
what a
free
move.
throw. Good turn.
And we had everybody flying on that play. It was a good pump fake.
And finally, FedEx jumps into the double-digit zone. Cortez, hold the pass. It's on the ground. Fontaine can't shoot. Cortez swatted by Rodriguez.
Well, the human eraser pinned that ball up against the backboard.
That was one of the most helter-skelter kind of situations we have seen for quite a spell. I thought Cortez also had this nailed down, but Rodriguez had other ideas.
Well, true to form, Coach Bonnie Garcia has already used 9 players, and we're still here in the first quarter.
Referees will call the action.
There was a lot of talk, Seb, about FedEx wanting to use 13 players per game. The entire local lineup plus the import.
You know, I think on the subject, if they want to go that way, then they go that way.
Why not?
Yes. Nothing.
It's the manager requesting it, so.
There's nothing, as far as I know, and the little that I know of the Constitution of the Philippines, there is no law that says you can. But, you know, it's a style. And FedEx was hoping to implement that, and I think they are managing to get that underway. Fontaine.
Well, the game is getting quite physical inside, particularly when you have Arboleda and Roger Yap as guards out there for the FedEx team.
Okay, 22-10 is the count right now. A minute and 27 to go. We are still in the first quarter.
Well, Terrence Shannon has not scored very many points, but neither has Isaac Fontaine, as Shannon's done a pretty good job defensively.
Fontaine tries to shake off Shannon. Camaso's outside attempt does not work, and here comes Cortez. Everybody is in the shaded area. There may have been a foul there. What was clobbered. Penetration by Yap.
Oh!
Shannon with a no-fear slam dunk. Brought to you by No Fear Jeans USA. Live your dreams. And what a slamma-jamma. And Tim Cone calls a 30-second timeout.
Oh, Terrence Shannon showing that you don't need to have the basketball in your hands to score. You can always work hard without the basketball, so when you get it, you can just dunk it. Of course, Coach Tim Cone not happy because his players are very slow coming back on defense.
You sound nostalgic.
I can still jump, Seth.
But you sound nostalgic. You can still jump, I'm sure you can.
Everybody can. Good steal by Roger Yap.
Roger Yap, well, good defensive hand. Shannon shot kisses the iron. Here's Cortez. Camaso top of the keyhole area. Shot clock is reduced to 7. Duat is in a bind, sends it outside to Cortez. Can't sink it. Shannon clears it. 10-point lead by Alaska. Winnie Arboleda trying to be at the controls. There's Yap. Yap shoots a 3. And that'll do it for the quarter. They could not keep in step with what was Alaska was doing.
Well, Alaska played good defense, and a lot of that defense led to good offense on the other end as they've tried to push the ball up quickly. It's actually Alaska who's running a quicker pace in this game than FedEx.
The shot does not work. Omanzi, or rather Terrence Shannon, has to make the attempt. It does not work.
And that's another case of him going to get the basketball and not getting the offensive rebound.
Okay, it's 22-12.
Actually, you can have two types of imports. One who has to have the ball all the time and go on in a one-on-one situation. Then you have guys who move without the basketball, so when they do get it, they're already in a position to score.
Lala Roque has just fired 2 t-shirts into the 3 t-shirts into the audience. She has a Monterey courtside update.
You have 7, Coach Norman. Well, Coach Bonnie said to his players that he will apply full court pressure dito sa Alaska. At pinaalala niya, pahirapan naman natin ng konti. Mukhang hindi sila nahihirapan sa atin. And of course, he particularly mentioned Ali Peak. They have to guard Ali Peak, especially inside, down low. At kailangan daw, well, depensahan nila yon ng 2-man team. And that's my Monterey courtside update. Back to you, 7, Coach Norman.
Thank you very much. Suddenly, it's 22-16. FedEx is trying to get its act going already. It has scored 4 straight points.
That last time they did it with defense as Arboleda got the steal.
Open shot, contained. It circles out. Here's Yap. Yap slows it down, accelerates over to Shannon. Close range, he's deadly.
And now the fast-breaking game of FedEx has started to pick up here in the second quarter.
You know, that is their strength as a unit. It is their ability to run. In the meantime, Aliado and File will make an appearance. File's first appearance here today, second for Aliado. They pull out Camaso and Peak.
Well, actually, FedEx has been a running team the entire year. Even under Coach Derek Pumaran, they were out and running in the first two conferences. But a lot of that came off of their defense. They're very good at turning defense into offense.
Fontaine is rejected.
And the FedEx team, they're questioning that call.
Number 16, Amancio Rodriguez gets his first foul.
This is the third time that Ike Fontaine has had his shot blocked here in the first half.
22-18 is the count. You know, I think the reaction, okay, is also because they're in some kind of momentum going on right now. There's some reactions that are isolated, and there are some that are part of momentum.
And it was Omazi who blocked the shot, who is known for his shot blocking ability. That's why we call him the human eraser.
And look at this. Fontaine takes care of that. You're in the second quarter, ladies and gentlemen. 23-18 is the count. 10 and 28 to go. Alaska leading by as much as 15. And Shannon keeps the run of FedEx going.
And that's what happens when you get a couple of layups close to the basket. Now you have a lot more confidence in that outside shot.
Almost a 16-1 run now since that quarter ended, or since the time the lead was established. And look at this. Fontaine keeping the Alaska attack alive. That will not connect. And 9:44 to go. And a foul is called against Arboleda as he tried to snap the ball away.
Well, Kablai was asking for a foul the last time down, so finally caught up with him.
In the meantime, here is Terrence Shannon initiating a Coca-Cola mismo moment. 25-20 ang ating score. That will not work. Some behemoths are inside, and notably EJ5 can't take it. EJ says, "Lemay, I tiptoe!"
Total domination of the rebounds by the big guys of Alaska. Look at EJ. He's learned how not to bring the basketball down. Chumba, hunting Chumba on the shot, though, hitting the top of the backboard and falling in. But let's give EJ credit.
You know, Rodriguez ended up with his third personal foul in that sequence. File completes the three-point play, and Alaska now maintains an 8-point lead. Here's Yap. Three defensive men in front of him. Don't forget, Timex is our official timer here at the PBA. And do check out the nearest Timex outlet for the newest Timex watch collections this October. We've got a baseline violation. Yun, kitang-kita. May makapagtinikling dun. They have a change in the lineup.
Marvin Altaguera has checked in for FedEx, and Cortez and Arrigo are back in for Alaska.
Yes. Altaguera, of course, first made the name for himself as a USD Tiger. Yup. There's Arboleda shooting.
Yes.
Just a 2. And 8 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Oh, Terrence Shannon is getting a rest now for FedEx. Good, great move by Kablai.
Can he go all the way with it? No, Aliado's there to the rescue.
You can understand why Aliado has not taken a rest here in the first half. Oh, nobody home.
Don't forget, Fundador Brandy by name. And the Aces want to talk things over.
But Alaska had 25 rebounds, only 13 for FedEx. Made a big difference in the score. This quarter, 3 out of 9 for Alaska, 5 out of 8th
Yes.
for FedEx.
In the meantime, Arrigo sends it to Aliado. This is a familiar Alaska play. Now they sort of, from FedEx perspective, sort of realize that play has been burning them. While was a turnaround shot. There's a
Aliado.
Yes. Ren Ritualo clears. Two Lasalites at each other, former teammates. 30-24, 7 minutes and 58 seconds to go.
Well, Alaska forcing all pick and rolls baseline. Oh, nice move.
That's a nice move.
Yeah, good pivot there by Yancey.
I think that's a lesson wherein you don't really have to grind all that hard sometimes for a basket. Just sometimes being graceful can be beneficial.
And he's left-handed, so he actually pivoted right to his left hand, right off the backboard.
7:28 to go. 4-point Alaska advantage, and they're in possession with 3 on their shot clock. Cortez is clipped.
Well, Cortez always searching for the opening.
And usually manages to find a way out of difficult situations.
Well, he is one point guard who can penetrate and finish.
And is a member of dying breed that likes knee-high socks.
Samboy Lim style, huh?
Yes. Noy Castillo. Meantime, Cortez steals the first. And Mike has given them a 5-point lead.
Oh, short rest for Isaac Fontaine, and he's back in for Kablai. Terrence Shannon continues to rest on the bench for FedEx.
Again, earlier today, we had Dawkins Tex winning 89-81 against Santa Lucia Realty. And Santa Lucia dropping just its second game in 6 starts.
But they still have total control of Group A.
Yes. From the door, Brandy by name. Here's Vergel. Gets tied up, the behind-the-back pass goes awry.
And that occurred because Ferrios was being double-teamed by the man of Arboleda. Arboleda was wide open on the 3-point line.
You know, Tim Cohn's constant shouting is really to encourage his team to maintain a certain level, a certain energy, keep the energy up, especially on the defensive end.
Well, he also remembers the run they just had in the last 2 conferences where they won 3rd and 1st place, and they're just not playing that type of basketball right now.
Oh, good point.
So he's demanding more out of his players.
As Fontaine has a running shot, you know, the PBA is structured to play 10 months in a year.
And 3 conferences,
Yes.
so that's a roller coaster ride.
Yes.
So, like we always say, the 3rd conference is the best one to win, because at the end of the conference, you get a chance to rest. But if you win conference number 1 or conference number 2, you have to get ready to play right away.
This is a congested situation in terms of spacing, but Ritualo used them as screens instead. 8-point lead by Alaska. Aliado. Cortez.
There he is again, looking for the opening.
Ritualo. Arboleda. Thinking pass. You know, when Arboleda is in the middle of the fast break, which is very often, he will opt to most likely shoot. But when he's on the wing, expect him to pass.
And he waited to the last moment, which is exactly what you should do. Make the defensive man commit before you pass the ball off.
Near foul by Arboleda. Arrigo keeping his composure. Missing the shot, however. EJ foul. Tiptoe shot does not work. Here comes Ren. Wide open 3. Kaboom!
Yeah. One of the few guys in the league said where you just allow him to take that shot, because he can knock it down at any time.
Yes. So, you know, when he can get his points in a cluster, he can be Mr. Rapid Fire. There's EJ foul. Somebody's trying to ball hawk. That was Arboleda. No look pass downstairs. Turn around. Arrigo.
And EJ having eyes on the side of his head, being able to find Arrigo.
Vergel shoots against Aliado. Yes. We have not missed in our last 4 attempts. I'm talking about sides.
Well, that's what we were expecting.
Considering the sputtering start by both squads in the first quarter. settled down. It's a 33 second quarter, 4:40 to go. Ayala looking inside, gets it over to Arrigo. Arrigo with a turnaround. Ayaw. Follow up. Ayaw.
Traveling. Don Ayala took a couple of steps there after he got the rebound.
Liam waltzed in front of the FedEx bench. EJ, hello, hello!
That's normally a move we associate Marlo Aquino with.
What EJ says, I have my version.
Yes, he did it with the left hand, not the right.
38-33, down to 4 minutes here in the quarter. Second. What happened? There's a whistle. Yes.
Acting foul on number 31 on Eagle. His first two on Alaska.
The foul is on Arrigo, his first.
Like everybody froze on the play. Nobody heard the whistle.
Yes. It's our Winnie Arboleda on the line. Pete Velasquez is down to 4. Vergel Meneses makes his second appearance. Some new faces, but we have seen already action in the game. We've got Peak, we've got Kablai, and Duat. Arrigo sits down, File sits down, Cortez sits down on the ice cooler there.
Well, you can honestly say that Winnie Arboleda has definitely improved in his second year in the league. I mean, he's always had the energy and the aggressiveness, but he's played a lot smarter this year. He's done a good job of quarterbacking his team.
There were times when he was out of control, really. Just buoyed up by his enthusiasm to really do well. Settled down. Penetration. Kick out. Fontaine. High looper. Volleyball time. Duat can't control it. Recycled offense. Aliado.
Oh, a lot of contact on that play.
Yes. Alaska fans yelling, screaming for a foul. Fontaine. Difficult turning around. There's a follow-up that does not work. Aliado's down on the deck.
And so many offensive rebounds for Alaska.
I mean,
we're going to see a big rebound advantage for Alaska at halftime.
I think that's why Tim Cohn is applauding. He's not worried about the call or non-call of fouls in that situation, in those series of sequences. He was more interested in the effort of his team, which he has been preaching tirelessly. Peak, Duat,
another offensive rebound.
And it is a 40-35 second quarter. Inside we go. Turnaround shot. Tumama sa kanto. 2:44 na lang po. Brisk pass. Ali Peak loves to use that left foot of his grab step. And Ali Peak sings the jumper. And it is now 42-35. Retualo.
A quick reply coming from FedEx as both teams seem to be answering one another.
You know, when Retualo has that scowl of his, when he has those eyebrows,
could have been a backing
like
violation.
A backing violation, yes. Duat scores.
That's actually the second time we've seen that play. They go back door and they get an easy layup.
Here's Retualo, long, yes!
You can't blame the defensive man. He's right there on top of Retualo, but when Rendering gets hot, it's difficult to stop him.
He is now at rapid fire mode with 9 points. Jerome Harrison, who made an entry earlier. Retualo begging for the ball. Give it to me! But he won't make it on the strip. Malayo pa ang last shot time dahil 1:19 pa tayo. And that's why Tim Cohn was telling his troops, push, push, push. Ali Peak looking to pass first. Ali has it anew. Got it.
Well, Tim Cone likes this matchup of Ali Peak and Yancey Del Campo.
Bob Duat ends up with his second personal foul. This quarter just blown by us.
Really blown by, correct.
Let's take a look at the Avia assist board.
A lot of those assists for FedEx coming here in the second quarter. Actually, 9 of those 11 assists. That's why their scoring total has really gone up here.
Noble tapping the pass away. Opportunity for Alaska to increase its lead. Noble deep under the sea, kicks it out. Ali Peak. Noble juggles. He's trapped. Shot clock at 9. Tablai sees daylight. Can you imagine the reaction of Tim Cone had they wasted the opportunity?
30-second timeout, FedEx.
FedEx wants a 30-second timeout.
Well, what's interesting about that play, Seb, it's like you struggle, and all of a sudden everything is wide open. You have a wide open layup as you go to the basket. But it took such effort just to get to that point.
And I think the fact that they kept the ball moving created the opening that eventually gave way for that highway that Kablai saw.
Well, that was a good high screen that time for Kablai. That's why he came off and was able to make that shot. It was actually Ali Peak who set the high screen off of the triangle offense, which is actually part of their offense too. That middleman can actually come up and set that high screen for the guard out top.
We've got 11.8 seconds in the balance in this first half.
Is Terrence Shannon in foul trouble, Seb? Because he's been out of the game for quite a while now.
2 personal fouls in the meantime.
Sorry. He just checked back
Just
in.
check it. A couple of Rickies on your screen. Ricky Santos in the middle. Ricky Palou, of course.
Commissioner Noli Ayala.
6 seconds to go. Open. No connection. Jerry keeps it alive, but he was unaware of the time situation. So it's 48 to 39.